Hey everyone, we've got a super question today about wanting to be a nice person. It's really good. Um, Hi Claire. What I'm noticing is that I often begrudge other people's successes. I have judgmental and contemptuous thoughts and fear of other people's work being better than mine. I can see there is a desire to be special. Even being in this conversation brings out these feelings of superiority. This feels jarring because the thing I want to do, or at least what my mind is telling me, is to support people and lift them up. I get that these are just thoughts, I don't choose them, and I'm able to act from a place of support regardless. It's horrible though. I can see that the other constructed version of myself is nice and supportive, is fighting against this shadow side with all of these resentments and meanness. I know the whole point is that we let everything in. I know that real freedom is allowing all of this. I do wish it would go away though, so I could enjoy being nice me properly. Oh yeah, I love the honesty. It's so good. I guess I need to fully allow this to teach me what there is to see. Whenever I hear people like yourself, I can't help but think, I bet she doesn't think these nasty things like me. Oh, I totally do. I totally do. And it's why this conversation is so cool. And I love this question. So thank you for that and your honesty. And it reminds me of a similar conversation I had with someone where she was resistant to the idea of self, of there being no self, because she's saying, but I like me. I've spent decades working on me. I used to hate myself and now I like myself. And that's an enormous achievement. Don't take that away from me, Claire. It's massive that I like myself. And this is the thing. As long as we like ourselves, we will also not like ourselves, because the liking of the thing that we think we are, which depends completely, by the way, on believing that this thing that we think we are is choosing what to do, what to think, how to react, how to be. As long as we're believing that, and as long as we think we like that, there will be moments where we hate that. There'll be moments where that me is being rejected, where it's too scared to um, do anything, where it feels invalid, it feels worthless, it feels lower in comparison. It's part of it. We can't have one without the other. And it's all revolving around something that isn't even true. So what we're looking at with this question is like a like it's a sort of big picture thing of how can I have different thoughts? How can I not resent people? And as it stands, it's that question's got nowhere to go. There's no answer to that, is there? Like, how? I don't know. How? You can't. There's literally nothing we can say in answer to that. But when we bring it into reality, every time, so into our mind comes the thought, and it wouldn't even be a thought, would it? It would be like a sort of tension. And I totally have this. Of course, we all do. A tension, especially the people who make out they don't. There's a tension of jealousy, say, isn't there, or resentment, or um, ill will. There's like a tension of it. We can feel it in the body in a moment, and it might be something like something flashes up on Facebook, or we overhear something, or we get missed out on something, we get overlooked, or we hear a criticism that someone said about us, and there's a contraction, and it's immediate, it's in that moment. And this is the real time work of this conversation. Because in that moment, what's happened is the idea of ourselves is really what's happening. The idea of ourselves and the idea of something coming in from outside are being simultaneously created. The idea of a separate me that is being offended or compared to or isolated by or criticized by that thing, that person out there, those two things are arising at the same time, and they're simultaneously arising from our unhealed, unresolved, unexplored, unloved layers of belief about what we are and of where our survival depends. That's where it's coming from. So the question, how can I stop feeling resentful, has no answer. But when we bring it into reality and we look out for the next time we feel resentment, and bam, we feel it like in our gut, our breath, our shoulders tense, whatever it is. It's horrible. It's like torture, suffering. It feels like life and death, doesn't it? And we have to fight or flight in that moment. It's like the kick in of survival. And when we're ready, when there's space, and through this conversation, we're all hanging out more and more in that space with people who will like turn us around and say, hang out here, stay here, see what's here to be seen, feel what's there to be felt. So feel the resentment, really feel it through the whole body, notice it, because it will go back. It will go back right to the origin of self, this. It will go back to when, who knows, we were being compared to our siblings, or we were left out at school, or bullied in the playground, or there was members of the family who were unkind to us, or who knows what it will be, but there'll be a thread that goes all the way back. And in that moment of stillness and presence, to feeling what's in the body, seeing what the mind creates, seeing how it could so easily, a drop of a hat, go bam into an entire film, an entire construct of how that person is awful and how we're better than them, or we're awful and they're better than us, who knows. But that whole film of separation is the mind's creation. And we're coming into the body to see what's actually real, which are the sensations here. Those are real. And those are healing. By having them, feeling them, we're healing those hard contractions that formed the self at the outset. And we're seeing that whatever the mind is creating in that moment is irrelevant. And we do this for the whole of the rest of our lives. And that's sanity. Yeah, it is. So we can't answer the big question. We can only come into actual truth, moment by moment. What is going on here? What's here to be felt now? And then what happens is the entire idea of ourself as good or bad, worthy, unworthy, success, failure, liked, unliked, right, wrong, it just becomes a total irrelevance. It has nothing. It has no information, because we can see how it just slides in and out, nice, not nice, one or the other, completely meaningless. So these big picture descriptions of what we are like absolute meaningless irrelevancies. And all there is moment by moment what's true, moment by moment, feeling what's there to be felt, seeing, being the witness to whatever that mind is creating over and over and over again. And that's our life. And that's a wonderful miracle life, because that's a sane life. And it's a life of undoing. Not to get anywhere. There's nothing to be had in it. We can see that. We can't become a better person, can we, through that? We just live in the reality of what we are. And that's a miracle of beingness that is beyond description. Yeah. Thank you. Great question. Bye.